Hi, everybody. I'm George, and welcome to the second episode of PLUTEMBER 2022. Last week, the spirit of JP, my co-additional host of We Heard About Pluto, haunted me, and in between clanking chains and booze, we found some time to talk about the Lost Boys. This week, the spirit of We Heard About Pluto's host prime, Reegs, is foretold to visit before they team up next week with both Spectres talking about a movie that I choose for once. So welcome, Reegs. Come in and know me better, man.
Wow. Thank you, George. I'm being welcome to the little whorehouse. What? Host Prime?
Host Prime.
Host Prime? I do like that.
It felt good. It felt good saying it. I was like, damn. I've never felt like I wanted to be the main host until suddenly the title was Host Prime.
Host Prime. I know. That's it. It sounds cool each time I say it. Thank you for having me back here.
Yes, happy to do it. Happy to get another exciting Plutember in the books here.
Plutember, best time of the year?
Best time of the year. Everybody's saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's saying it. I mean, we have already heard about your history with horror, so we can just jump right in. If people don't know it, they can check out the episode from last year about Ernest Scared Stupid.
Great ep,
but we've discovered a new best horror movie ever made in between now and then. And the movie we're talking about today is James Wan's Malignant from 2021. The movie originates with James's wife, Ingrid Bisou, and her interest in medical oddities, like the urban legend of Edward Mordrake, which has a distinct and direct influence on this. The guy supposedly had a head on the back, or a face on the back of his head. Doesn't get much more direct than that.
It really doesn't. I read a little bit about that at the after I watched this, because oh man, I just wanted that to be true. So much. How cool would that be? I mean, except the end, because I think like the legend is like he killed himself.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, this is too much. It's so fucked up. I'm 23 years old. I can't handle it anymore."
He was like this heir to the like some sort of English something. I don't know,
aristocracy.
Yeah, something like that.
That was a direct influence on this. James said, quote, "We were looking for a project to collaborate on together, and she's very much into medical anomalies, and she finds that world very fascinating. When she brought me this idea of a potential evil twin / a teratoma that is alive, I was like, oh my goodness, this could be interesting. This could be something that I can sink my teeth into and turn it into an original story that I've never done before." That's where the story began. And he talks about how he did want to go back and make like a schlocky horror film, like the ones that he grew up going direct to video, saying that this movie isn't just a genre bender, but a genre blender. I think that's a great description of it.
Yeah, it really is too, because there's so much going on. Like, and that's one thing that really appealed to me, because there's some, just in the horror genre alone, you've got some like psychological stuff going. You know, like there's some dream stuff going on too with her. You don't know if it's real or imaginary, but then there's a heavy gore aspect as well, which I also enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just like a gothic atmosphere as well, just kind of hanging around. It really is a whole bunch of stuff. He compared his intention to Saw, his original movie Saw, which was really Leigh Whannell and I making a film, pulling in all the different loves and inspirations we've had from other movies into one film. And with Malignant, I wanted to aesthetically sort of pay homage to all the other films I grew up loving. I've referenced the sort of 70s and 80s giallo films from Italy, like Dario Argento's films, and of course, I mean the other big obvious influence is Cronenberg, so body horror. I've never made a body horror movie before, and when we were working on Swamp Thing, I had so much fun working on that, designing the look of Swamp Thing and playing with all the different body horror, that it pushed me, I think, unknowingly it pushed me into wanting to direct a movie like that myself. And the body horror in this is great. It's real, like, goopy looking, lots of, like, flesh stuff where you're like, oh, I want to look away, but I can't.
Well, just from the opening credits, like over the opening credits, there's just the surgery, intense surgery stuff going on. So it really sets it. The tone is really set from like the first 10 minutes of what this is, what is going to happen here. From the the death of the husband and everything. Like, there's a lot going on right away.
Yeah. And it was funny because someone asked Ingrid about this as well and was like, hey, every few months the horror community fights about what giallo means. So what does it mean to you that Malignant is a giallo film? Which I think is a pretty good question. As you'll recall from our Suspiria remake last year, we discussed that same annoying pedantry where people get real finicky about what exactly is or is not a giallo film. And so she said, for me, it's in the eyes. It's in the colors. It's in the reaction. I'm thinking Dario Argento here, particularly the tension, the suspense, and there's moments of campiness. There's the eyes and the screams and everything that we were inspired by to put in this movie. The leather, there's just so much. I can't comprise it into one thing. There's just so much of the giallo genre that inspired us. Mood, but also the costumes, the leather gloves, and all that. For us, that was inspired by the giallo eyes. It's a lot. Obviously, that's all James's vision at the end of the day. And I think that it's nice to sort of cherry pick the pieces that they like from that genre, but not feel entirely beholden to it. It doesn't have to hit every single note of like what is in a giallo movie. Like they don't treat it like a checklist. You know, they just take the things that influence them that they like.
The things that they like the most. And that's what I feel like is going to make a better movie overall.
Yeah.
Just visually. And that you said it's about the eyes and like this shit, like some of the, like, that's one of my favorite parts about this movie is just like how it looks at times.
Mm-hmm.
The dream sequences and everything. It's cool.
Definitely.
It looks cool.
Our star is Annabelle Wallis as Madison Mitchell, has to really shoulder a lot of this movie and thread the needle. Obviously, we'll talk about Gabriel in a second, but Annabelle has to be emotionally believable and provide the melodramatic grounding that allows the campy, wild stuff to sing. You need that foothold to hang on to.
Totally. And you just feel for her from like nothing is going right for her. She just seems like she has a very, really sad life.
Yeah. Definitely. And you have George Young and Michelle Brianna White as the detectives and Maddie Hassan as Madison's sister Sydney, but they really orbit the character of Maddie in a way where that's the crucial one.
Mm-hmm. And the sister, we should mention this. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but she does mention at some point she plays.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I figured out this is your plan all along. This is the real reason you chose this is because she's a Sean Spencer.
She's a Sean Spencer. She mentions it. She plays a psychic cop in a show. I mean, I wrote that down with several exclamation points.
It all became crystal clear to me.
Crystal clear why I chose this movie.
The perfect tie-in. Yes. So Malignant was really interesting because on release, there was a lot of people who took it very seriously, and they didn't like it for that reason. But the tone of this movie is very goofy and deliberately so.
Right.
James commented on that tone in creating it. This is a little bit of a longer quote, so bear with me. But he said, "Put it this way. I knew that I probably wouldn't get the opportunity to do something like this very often in my career. And so here I get one or two chances. I don't want to mess it up, if you will. I don't want to get this opportunity and not take advantage of it. One of the things that I knew going into this is I was aware of people's perception of me and the movies that I've made. And so I wanted to take that perception and turn it on its head. I wanted to start a movie out that goes, people go, it's James doing another one of his ghostly supernatural movies. But then halfway through that, I pull the rug out from underneath them. And so it was a lot of me just having fun with the movie, but also having fun with what I think people know of me. And the trickiest part was we shot a lot of stuff that was written in there, but in editing, you start to question yourself. Like, am I giving too much of the concept away? Am I kind of laying the breadcrumbs a bit too thick here that would destroy the reveal at the end, if you will? And so it was a fine line, and that editing process was all done during the pandemic. We had to do it remotely. It was really difficult, but then we got into the groove of things, and ultimately allowed me some distance away from the film, and then to come back to it and look at it, then reassess the film and kind of tweak some things. And I think that, well, so first of all, the reveal that he's talking about concerns Gabriel, who made quite a splash on screen, perhaps the biggest original horror icon since the Babadook. But part of what makes him so interesting to me is that ambiguity that the movie plays with at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he's talking about there in terms of sort of sweeping away some of the breadcrumbs, that's what I like about it. I like that it feels like a sudden drop into this guy taking over the bodies and using her as like a combat vehicle, basically.
Right. They're joined at the brain.
Yeah. And so it's interesting that those threads were there to start with, and it took them having that time away from it to be like, well, maybe we don't need it. Maybe it is better if you just kind of have to go along for the ride.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm glad the movie came out the way it did, and like for the people, I don't understand. You mentioned earlier the people that were upset about it because they took it too seriously or they expected too much out of it. I guess I just don't. It worked so well for me where I can't put myself in that mind. I mean, the guy made Saw too, the first Saw.
Yeah,
that's about some old guy like working a doll to put people through a game. You know what I mean? Like It's just not like. Which is great. I love Saw. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just like that's kind of fun and wacky and also scary at times. Which is this kind of checks those boxes too. So
yeah, it's tongue in cheek, but playing it completely straight.
Right. Yes, that's a way more eloquent way of saying it. And yeah, the reveal worked for me. That's one of the things I thought wasn't going to work. Watching this again, this was my second time watching it. I'm like, I already kind of know, I know the big reveal, but seeing all the clues laid throughout, like kind of building up to it now that I notice on second watch, definitely paid off in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some movies where it's so dependent on the twist that it ruins it going back to it, but there's enough other stuff going on in this movie that it totally works for me as well.
Yeah, and I think like because I watched this a year ago, like right when it came out, and in my memory, like I only really remembered the big twist, and I didn't remember any of the other stuff that happened, and all the other stuff is great. So
yeah, it was nice to really not be wondering where it was all going. You get a little more time to just absorb the rest of the movie.
Yeah, how creepy it really is at times.
Yeah. James said, Gabriel is a bit of an enigma character in Madison's life. I wanted to create a character who you're not quite sure if he or she is necessarily real, like a real person. Is it an imaginary friend? Is it a ghost? Or is it the devil? I had to find a way to hide its form. A lot of that stemmed from an idea of trying to hide its form and what it is. And it was a challenge to work out how to create something with a strong presence, but yet you can't really see it most of the time. And a lot of the time, he's just described in the script as a silhouette, a shape, a shadow. When it comes time to shoot it, you don't know quite what that represents. And so that's why they needed Marina Mazepa to bring Gabriel to life. She is a contortionist who plays Gabriel in the movie, and she is just outrageous.
Wow.
All of the physical practicality that is put into Gabriel, James said that they thought that they were going to have to shoot a lot of the movie in reverse and then play it back in reverse.
Whoa.
But what was amazing about Marina, this is now a quote, is just how quick of a study she is, and as sort of a physical body performer / dancer, that she was able to learn the choreography, and she literally did all the fighting backwards blindly. It was insane to sort of watch how that was all choreographed. That huge fight in the holding cell was all done by Marina. There was no sort of trickery, if you will. We didn't cheat in any way. She did that all backwards. So it was a combination of what she did there and what prosthetic makeup did as well. We applied a prosthetic life cast of Annabelle's face, and she'll wear it on her actual face. Then on the back, she'll be wearing an animatronic head of Gabriel. So a combination of that with the amazing special effects team that I had on this film, with ILM helping to pull it all together to bring Gabriel to life, it was quite the experience. I really wanted to create a villain that we hadn't quite seen before, and it took a lot of work to get it to this level. And it totally pays off. I mean, not only just because like you're like, oh, it's nice to have like a new distinct character, but the fact that they were able to do it practical, like there's a weird jerkiness to her movement.
Yes.
That is disconcerting. And I don't know. I mean, like if you were just doing it on computers, you might not notice that. You might just make it too smooth.
Right.
And
too
in this,
perfect.
Exactly. It's very disconcerting in this way.
Oh, it's so unsettling. And like just watching her bones and everything like that move around. And like that shit is wild that you just said. I had no idea that was played by an actual, like, I just assumed it was all like CGI or something. But the fact that it was practical effects is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
That's one of the creepiest parts of the movie too, just watching that her move around like that backwards with the and the way she like gets her shoulders and arms in play. Oh, it's just like
very effective sound design as well.
Oh yeah, it's super creepy, and the face on the back of the head, like, or just the head backwards so moving, so good. So
I mentioned a few of the influences earlier, but there are a few others that I wanted to mention in this preamble here. First is Brian De Palma's Sisters. It's an amazing movie with Margot Kidder. It's a nice blend of Rear Window and Psycho, and also has to do with these sort of conjoined twins and how one of them is evil and the other is being driven mad by being attached to them, so they're separated. Really, really great movie. I know I already mentioned this to you, Reeks, but I am now recommending it to everybody.
Yeah, it's on the list.
The famed list.
The famed Reeks list.
The second is Basket Case, which also features previously conjoined twins, one who is a little blob fella hunting down the doctors who separated them. So easy to see how that's a pretty direct influence on this as well. And the final influence to discuss up top is the psychic connection to the killer subgenre. Stuff like the excellent Carpenter-penned Eyes of Laura Mars. James mentioned loving that trope before it got overused, but then now it had been dormant for a while, and he was like, oh, it would be cool to use that. Just another interesting story, buoyed by the built-in suspense of disbelief that comes with horror movies using monsters. You know, he mentions that playing in a genre that has a sandbox, if you will, that allows people to kind of know what they're coming into already helps a lot. And it frees me up to then cook up a strange and interesting world for people to sort of inhabit this space. That's part of my love for the horror sci-fi genre, is you can kind of come up with a really out there story and people are more willing to accept it, you know? That's a big reason. That's a big part of why I love making these films. And I think that makes so much sense to me. Like you're like, okay, I'm going to see a movie about something that is already out of the realm of possibility, whether it's ghosts or monsters or whatever. And so if you're like, oh, there's also a psychic connection to the killer. Like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah. I can make that leap. Like, I'm putting myself in that world. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of that's one of the best parts about going to the movies too, is just to put yourself in one of those worlds. Like horror does that in a much better way than I think a lot of other genres do. And you know, I'm more of a horror novice, so I haven't seen any of those other films that were direct influences here. But the concept of like the parasitic twin, it's something I've never seen like in film or TV before. Again, I haven't seen it enough, but it's bizarre. It's bizarre enough where it's like it's new and creepy enough.
Yeah.
It just it worked for me. It kept me engaged because you don't know throughout. Like, is it something that she's imagining? Is it someone that's real? That guessing game throughout too. Like, as like someone that is not as versed in the genre. Really.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, none of those movies are like hugely popular. So I think probably Basket Case is the most well known of them, and they're all great. They all deserve to be seen, but I agree. It doesn't feel overused. I think that they do a great job, not of distinguishing themselves from this as well.
Right.
It's very different from those movies, but it just it's definitely like paying homage to the ones that came before in a way that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm. But doing its own thing.
Absolutely.
Even though it's always in a creepy Victorian house, like every time. Every time it's always one of those creepy houses.
Well, that's how he tricks you, man. That's how he makes you think it's going to be a ghost.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's true.
You think it's going to be a classic James Wan.
Classic James Wan.
A James Wan One. That's the new Spike Lee joint. It's a James Wan One. So the movie did the simultaneous release of streaming in theaters. That was the hallmark of the COVID era release.
Yes.
It did lead to a $35 million box office against a $40 million budget.
Wow.
So it did lose money. And Wan discussed being disappointed, especially since he had Malignant, Mortal Kombat, and Spiral from the Book of Saw all got slammed that way. So 2021, rough year for James Wan in terms of things that he made getting the proper reception. But he was like, I get it. That doesn't stop it from being a bummer.
right?
Which I understand as well.
Does because obviously they get paid for it to go on a streaming service. Does that factor into like the box office number that's reported, or is that just ticket sales?
It's just ticket sales because it's a whole new contract.
Okay.
Usually it might be incorporated into that contract, but usually they're like, you're getting compensated primarily for ticket sales, especially if you have like back end points or whatever. And then you get like a flat fee or whatever for, or paid cents on the dollar for streams. So
that's wild. Yeah, that they lost money because this is a great like theater movie. But I guess theaters were still. Was that Nicole Kidman commercial out yet? At this before this,
I don't know if that was out. This came out after Mortal Kombat, and I remember that was one of the first movies after I got my vaccine that I went to theaters and did see it in theaters. Oh, nice. Yeah. I saw Spiral in theaters too. That movie kind of sucked. James Wan, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I was not a fan of that one.
Mortal Kombat ruled though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Mortal Kombat. I'm especially now that they've set up the tournament. I understood the complaint that was like, how can you have a Mortal Kombat movie without the Mortal Kombat
Mortal
tournament?
Kombat, yeah. Kind of the whole thing.
And that's an understandable complaint. I get it.
But hear you.
I hear you, listener. Do not write in. I get it already. Yeah. But I had fun watching it. They set it up for the second one.
Mm-hmm. Had a lot of nostalgic, checked a lot of nostalgic boxes for me.
Yeah.
Scorpion says, get over here.
Yeah.
Come on. What else you need?
Yeah, I will say I wish, well, it's tough. I was going to say I wish that it wasn't like an OC, like a original character kind of that someone they had made just for the movie. I wish it had been following like just Johnny Cage or something.
Right, yeah, that's true. I'm like, who is this guy? Like that's what I kept thinking the whole time. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I will say in the year, it was a lot of good video game adaptations for me because I also loved Welcome to Raccoon City, the new Resident Evil movie. So,
I don't think I've seen a Resident Evil movie.
Wow.
So
in the lead up, even though they're not related, just for a lark, I watched all of the Resident Evil movies.
Nice.
And they're not good.
Well, you saved me some time then.
Yeah. There's a really funny moment. I'm going to spoil part of 2 here because it's an older movie. If you're going to watch the Resident Evil movies, you've seen them at this point.
I'm just imagining a listener turning on this episode and being like, all right, listening to Best Little House in Philly, the Malignant episode, then right after
Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse. First of all, one of the villains has comically tiny villain glasses, which is a trope that I love. And they are truly comically tiny to the point of uselessness. But also, I don't know, have you played much of the Resident Evil games?
Not in a long time.
Do you know Nemesis, the like big evil zombie guy from 3?
No.
Okay, well, there's a big evil zombie guy from 3, if you can believe it.
Oh, you do believe it? I was trying to remember. I can't.
Look up a picture while I'm talking.
Okay.
And in 2, they create Nemesis out of one of the friends from before. And you're like the main character, I can't even remember, Alice, is fighting.
Oh, this guy. Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah. She's fighting Nemesis. And he like suddenly flips onto her side. And the Nemesis becomes the Friendesis. And it just really made me laugh. I think it is the most straightforward and thus correct, like silly in the way that I like it to be silly.
Yeah.
And not just pure it is pure incompetence, but it's like not so outlandish that I'm like, well, you're just not even hitting it. Yeah. That was the sweet spot for me until this new one, which I actually like. I actually think the new one was good. So
hit the silly sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because it kind of understands that the games are also very silly and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't shy away from those moments, but it also doesn't lean so far into it that the rest of the movie becomes just comical either.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Video game adaptations are tough. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. GoldenEye is the gold standard. We all know this. And then
was that? I think that's a reverse, my friend. I think that the game was an adaptation of that. I don't think you get to claim that.
Heard it both ways.
Wow, and he's dropping a Psych reference on us, folks. I'm gonna say that I love Silent Hill as a great video game adaptation. And also there's a great game / movie combo called Detention. That's very good.
Detention. I don't know if I've ever played or seen that.
That is a Taiwanese game, I believe, about like Chinese occupation. And it's very Silent Hill-esque. And it's really good. And I recommend it, both the game and the movie.
Nice. Everything's going to be shooting for second place after Super Mario comes out. I mean, let's just be honest here.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait.
We cannot wait, dude.
I can't wait. Chris Pratt, my favorite.
Oh my God, yes, it's going to be awesome.
Ugh. Let's get into the movie.
Yes.
We start off with a video note from Dr. Florence Weaver warning about Gabriel's growing strength and maliciousness. I love that Chekhov's giant bladed trophy is back there from minute 1.
I wrote down Chekhov's surgery trophy in my notes. It's great.
You know how you get trophies for surgery? You know about that? Everybody's getting trophies for surgeries these days. Everyone gets a participation surgery trophy.
All these millennial surgeons.
In woke America. Yes, exactly.
Please.
Now, the video is interrupted by news of Gabriel's escape and that he was drinking the electricity, controlling the machines. Ooh, fun power for him to have.
Yes.
Dr. Weaver tranks him and we take in the gruesome aftermath. It's time for surgery, motherfucker. You've been a bad boy, she says.
It's weird that he can't control electricity. Is that ever really explained?
So who cares?
I know. It's just like, it's fun. It's cool and fun. Yeah.
I was like in the research, they did discuss it where they were like Superman is just an organic being and he's born that way.
Yeah.
That's what it is with Gabriel.
That's it. That works for me. It's just, I didn't know if I was missing anything.
No.
Okay.
No. It was funny when the other example that I think it was Ingrid was talking about this, and the other example she gave was the Flash, and she was like, how is the Flash made? Nobody knows. I was like, I'm pretty sure that he was like in that explosion in the particle accelerator or whatever the fuck it was.
No one knows.
Nobody knows. That made me laugh. But the Superman example stood in a way where I said, okay, I'm on board.
Yes. I'm on board.
Yep. And I mean, this moment where she's like, you've been a bad boy. If you're not already on board and understanding that this is going to be a fucking silly ass movie.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Like,
grow up.
What are you looking for? Like,
grow up and laugh.
Yeah. Come on. Just let's get out of the diaper. Let's grow up. Let's learn to laugh a little bit.
That's right. We glimpse at Gabriel there squirming, but like through the translucent curtain, but just for a second.
Yes. You see him get strapped in.
That's right. He's strapped in. He's broadcasting his thoughts of killing them all over the radio. She says it's time to cut out the cancer. Wow.
Pretty.
Can't feel good to hear.
No, to call him a cancer. It comes back a lot later in the movie.
Yeah.
But you do know early on that it is in fact a person, at least. So you see him get strapped in and everything, squirming.
Yeah.
So
we do get the cool credit scene. It's a fun drop. You see the surgery happen in flashes as well as some reports where you get to read it. And it's in these early moments where it really feels like sisters to me.
Mm-hmm.
But we cut to Madison Lake staggering up the stairs, very pregnant and distinctly not being helped by her husband, who is absorbed in some UFC.
In the middle of the day. Being a shitty husband to your pregnant wife, okay. But like watching UFC in the middle of the day,
come on,
unbelievable. Where's the decorum here?
The baby has been giving her a hard time, and her husband Derek is giving her an even harder one, guilt tripping her about having miscarriages, and then slamming her head into the wall after she pushes him away.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Do you get that he's a bad guy?
Yeah, like they're really selling that. This guy's a total sack of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what happens to him is very satisfying. Shall I say?
Say it.
It's satisfying.
Wow. Oh my God. He's canceled, folks. I'm gonna.
I knew it.
we honey potted him.
Walks right into it. Oh, that's the fault for that honey. It's that sweet honey every time.
That Gabriel honey.
That Gabriel honey.
It'll get you
every time.
Yep. So she locks him out and sinks to the floor. She's bleeding from the head. And that night, the porch light flickers while Madison sleeps fitfully. Oh, I should also say there was like a big time jump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Although I don't know if they really communicate that. That might be like part of the reveal. So maybe I shouldn't have said that. But there was a big time jump.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. I think you're good.
Yeah. Downstairs, her husband is woken up by some clattering in the blender, then the TV turning on by themselves. And the light of the TV illuminates a spooky silhouette sitting there, which vanishes with the light and then emerges to stab the heck out of Derek.
Crazy. And it like slams his head against the wall or something like that. It's just very scary. Just creepy. Seeing the silhouette sitting there.
Ooh, very Ring. That was great.
Very Ring. Very Ring. And then seeing it right behind him and everything too. Oh man, it chills throughout the whole time.
Maddie wakes with a start, pillow soaked in blood and still actively bleeding.
Terrible. She
goes downstairs, finds the body, and is pursued by this shadow being who breaks down the door and knocks her out. The police arrive and are baffled by what they've found, while Maddie goes to the hospital, joined by her sister Sydney, who fills her in. She also discovers that she lost the baby again in the attack, which is genuinely very sad.
Yeah, really sad. You really like feel for her. Like I said earlier, like just terrible things keep happening to her. And yeah, and then this is just the icing on the terrible cake.
She's despondent. 2 days later, still basically catatonic. Detectives Kakoa and Regina question Sydney. She doesn't know much because Derek kept them apart. She doesn't even know about the other miscarriages. And the police are eyeballing Maddie as a main suspect because the motive is he was an abusive piece of shit.
Right.
So,
no forced entry to the house. Yeah, right. I mean, it's hard not to put. Yeah, but it's, you don't make the immediate jump to like the parasitic twin, controlling the minds. It's hard.
weirdly, they didn't jump right to that. It was, I don't know. What are we paying these guys for?
I don't know. Seeing this movie now, that's what I use. I've been jumping to that conclusion a lot.
It's always my go-to.
That person's got a parasitic twin. I know it. I know it.
Every time someone's an asshole to me, I'm like, oh, it's because they've got a Gabriel on their head.
They got a Gabriel. Fuck. Control your Gabriel.
2 weeks later, Maddie returns home. I love the nighttime exteriors with a buttload of fog. It just looks great.
It does. Very gothic.
Especially when there's a creepy void figure standing underneath a flickering streetlight. That's scary.
Super scary. That's where it takes it hits that different. It's not gory. It's just like that's eerie. I don't know what the right word for it is, but it's just
I think you nailed it.
Spooky, maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
Me, whatever.
Maddie locks the doors and closes the drapes, but she isn't quick enough. One of the doors is open and blowing in the dang breeze, and noises start up in the house, and the camera spins as the door opens once again. Maddie runs. We get this really awesome sequence with a cutout roof, but the whole walls are visible. It kind of looks like a floor plan on a blueprint. Really neat stuff.
Yeah, they removed the roof. Yeah, that was really cool. I love that shot.
She locks herself in the room and waits it out, barricading the house the next day. We see Maddie staring at the cracked wall where her head hit, and her shadow cast on the wall is an ominous portent. And of course, it's really great going back to it and realizing that this is her thinking that, or losing time, basically. She thinks that she's just sitting there in the jail cell later when Gabriel is taking over her body. And here we see the beginnings of that. Right. He is starting to test her, how what he can make her do and make her see and everything. It's cool. It just seems normal, despondent catatonia in the first watch through because she's been going through some horrible shit. But and on the second watch, you get these other things that build up.
And that's something I picked up more on the second watch too. Just that the kind of time jump element of it that wasn't really as present to me on the first watch, I think. So, which was rewarding.
Definitely. A woman gives a tour in the Seattle Underground with mentions of the spirits still in them. It's a nice and ironic lead into her getting freaking snatched by the shadow being.
What a dedicated tour guide, too. Like, I would just, like, get the fuck out of there. Like, you know, just, you turn the lights off, you hear a clank, I'm running out of that underground, like, tunnel tour.
No,
the tunnels that go on for miles. I mean, like, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing?
Absolutely. She gets strung up, and Gabriel speaks through the radio. We get this "Where is my mind" sting, which plays a lot. Very fun, very funny. It's like perfectly on the nose. I like it a lot.
I love it. I love that song. I love this cover, and I love that it came up so many times in the movie. It was great.
And Gabriel says, "Time to call Dr. Weaver."
He's got some good lines. He's got a really good radio voice. I'll give him that.
It's true. Where's the Gabriel podcast? That's what I'm saying.
Come on, Gabriel hosting a Malignant rewatch podcast. When is that happening?
Wow, he's doing the scene by scene breakdown. It's also interesting because, you know, we talked about Videodrome on this podcast, in which there's the concept of the new flesh. Marshall Mcluhan living forever in the Videodrome, in that. You know, theoretically, there's so much of this, so much recordings of me that somebody in 100 years coming to it could get a general sense of who I am.
Right.
And in that way, I am alive to them. Long live legacy. The new flesh. Exactly. And I'm thinking that Gabriel could also talk about that a lot, because he is communicating through not only psychic links, but also technology.
Yes.
He lives through that. I think that would be a very interesting topic for him.
That would be really cool. I would listen to that shit. I mean, he could do a TED Talk on that.
There we go. That's what he really needs.
Yeah. I think a TED Talk that is a podcast too. I don't know.
Perfect. Yeah, they got to record it.
Yeah. Done.
The doctor looks over her patient files, and Maddie has head pain as the radio and lights flicker before she has a very spooky, scary vision of the doctor being attacked. Great lead-in with the face in the laundry machine. Very intense trophy bludgeoning with a frantic score. Very just great scene.
Great. Super, super creepy. And just the way they're able to blend. And I feel like they start slow with blending like her world and then like the doctor's living room. Very cool. Just visually very cool. And then you had just like scary, it's just a scary scene.
And you get that great like wobble of reality as we get back to Maddie waking up.
Yeah.
It's just really cool visual flair.
And you don't know what to believe at this point too, because this is like right when this is starting to happen to her. Especially on first watch, you're like, what the fuck is going on? So
she's also still bleeding from the fucking head.
Yeah, exactly.
Go see a fucking doctor, idiot.
Yeah, come on, clean that up. What are you doing?
The police investigate Dr. Weaver's crime scene. I like the melodrama happening in these scenes with like the Miss Lonely Hearts CSI person, the two gruff detectives. They're playing with stock characters in these bit roles. I like it. I think it works for me.
That was so funny when the one forensic detective was just said, what did she say to him? Kakoa was like, we got to look for the other half. And she's like, aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
And then he just walks away. And that was so funny to me. It was totally unnecessary. It didn't need to be there, but it worked. And it was great. I love it.
It works. It works. Yeah. It's in that classic procedural vein, you know?
Exactly. It was like we were watching an episode of
Lucifer.
Yes, exactly. We got to start that Lucifer podcast. What would that even be?
We're the Lucifans.
We heard about hell, I guess. I don't know.
I think so. It all has to tie into We Heard About Now. That's the brand.
Yeah. Well, we heard about brand.
There we go. So it turns out that Dr. Weaver specialized in child reconstructive surgery, and they find a photo of a little girl taken out of the files. And Gabriel hones the trophy into a blade. Very funny how it has excellence written at the bottom there, which really made me laugh.
Yes. That's Chekhov's surgery trophy we mentioned.
Exactly. And Ingrid Bisou described this process saying, "We knew we had to have an amazing weapon. It had to be something original. It had to be something crazy. That's where we both came in. My pitch was that it's a trophy that has to do with Weaver's performance in surgery. Then James started designing it, the actual design, the drawing with the handles. It's from Hermes. He has the wings. He's also part of healing. It all ties together to represent something medical, perverting the medical imagery into killer weapon, holding these two handles between his fingers, and then you have the blade coming out right at the top. For him, it's all part of his vengeance. It's all part of the plan. It's so beautifully coming together. Look, you could do a lot worse for a distinctive weapon.
Yeah, you certainly could. I think it's very funny that he sharpens it more, too, because when I first saw it, I'm like, it's pretty sharp trophy. You know,
not enough.
He's probably going to stab someone with it. And then he makes it sharper.
He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, famously.
Oh, so. Nice. Very nice.
The old Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth. Yeah, the All-Stars.
Wow. Great point. Great point.
Thank you.
Maddie tells Sydney how she saw the vision and watched that guy kill Dr. Weaver after they hear it mentioned on the news. The police station, when we finally go there, we see this set. Very, like, operatic. It's a great-looking set. Ceramic tile floors. I think it looks great. And the detective asks for the photo to be aged up 30 years.
Yes.
30 years.
Maybe make it 30.
Make it 30. Let's say 30 years.
What was that guy's name, too? I can't remember. The cops had some cool names. I remember. Kakoa?
Yeah, the Kakoa was cool. I think that was Scrooby Doo.
Scrooby Doo. That's right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Scrooby Doo. Relative of course, Sloppy Doo, who is Scooby Doo's uncle.
That's right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. It is known.
The ECT guy from the beginning is on the phone when the signs of Gabriel approaching kick in. This guy falls for every single trick. Ooh, the phone crackled. Let me go check this open window. And then the darkened closet. Of course his ass gets murdered.
Of course. It's like you're waiting for it. You're waiting for it the entire... Like, again, why would there be a bunch of water? Get out of that room. Like, he's just, you don't feel sorry for him. That's when you don't feel sorry. You're just asking for it at this point.
We do get a fun fake out as well with the ankles under the bed, and you're like, uh-oh, they're going to fucking slash those puppies.
those ankles are going bye-bye.
Wow. And another cool scene, watching her have the vision, especially when Gabriel looks right at her. Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that in this. Him standing behind someone and appearing out of nowhere.
Whoa.
It's scary, wild stuff.
Whoa, wild stuff indeed. This is our first real look at the contortion needed for the role as well. It's fucking crazy watching him get stabbed from backwards positioning on top of him. Insane.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Sydney comforts Maddie and they go tell the cops, and suddenly, this is when they reveal that she has been a Sean Spencer in the movies before or on TV.
Crazy. Was jumping up and down, screaming when she said this. I couldn't
Reeks
believe
called
it.
me. I just heard him hooting and hollering.
Yeah. Was crying for a full minute before I could even start talking. Yeah.
He's just screaming, "Do you see? Do you see?" It was like Manhunter.
Yeah. The sister of the main character plays a psychic. Do you see?
Click.
Click.
You owe me, Gabriel.
I was very excited, though. I was to hear it because, I mean, the psych tie-in.
Fun tie-in.
Yeah.
After much pleading, the cops agree to go check out the crime scene, and they are shocked to find she was right, and the bod is very much mutilated.
Yes. Much like the other one. They're starting to put it together. Maybe. Who knows?
The partner detective isn't impressed much by the sketch, Regina. She deems Gabriel to be Sloth from the Goonies. But in the bathroom, the lights flicker again, and Maddie gets a call from Gabriel. And he says, "Hey, I know your real name, and I'm going to get revenge on everyone who told you I wasn't real." That's exactly what he sounds like.
That's so good. That's so good. It's exactly what he sounds like.
"My name is Jigsaw, and I'd like to play a game. It's called Gabriel."
I mean, I love the scene, love the bathroom scene. Another creepy transition to another room, as we've seen.
Yeah, and there's some great framing with her facing away from the mirror. So it's like we're seeing Gabe too in the mirror. I like that a lot. And he gets her to say his name despite not telling her what it is. So he's like, we're just getting started.
Mm-hmm. Good reveal. I think that's the first time we hear Gabriel. He's named Gabriel now.
Yeah. Go tell Scrooby-Doo.
Go tell Scrooby-Doo.
Tell him to age it up 30 years.
30 years.
And of course, it turns out the girl in the photo is Maddie, if you can believe it.
Who would have thought? I mean, they have the same like hair too. I mean, it's pretty obvious from looking at the photo.
Pretty obvious. But look, it's a good thing. Better safe than sorry. You have to age it up 30 years. 30 and now that they know it's her for sure, they know that the photo is her. They think that the killer is her for sure, since she was one of the patients. Maddie takes Sydney to see their mom, who's freaked out hearing the name Gabriel. And she plays a tape of Maddie's 9th birthday where none of her classmates came because she's a loser.
Total loser. I mean, like, no one coming to your birthday party. Come on.
Not one.
Come on.
You have to invent some friggin' little Gabriel to hang out with.
Some fucking parasitic twin hanging out with you.
And parasitic twins.
Damn it. That's so good.
I love surgery trophies. Malignant on TV and parasitic twins.
The mom when they mention Gabriel to the mom, I feel like her look, that actress crushes it in just that moment. Like, she is terrified.
She's fucked up, bro. She's fucked up about it, dude.
Yeah, she is. Dude. Dude, she's fucked up, dude.
She's so fucked up about it, dude.
Jason's fucking Gabriel fuck.
In the video, she has 2 fucked up interactions with Gabriel.
Yes.
First, he tells her that they're not her real family on the birthday. How dare he?
Right.
Then, at Christmas, when mom is pregnant with a bio daughter, what the fuck is her name in it? Emily?
Maddie? Madison? Emily, yeah, her birth name.
Yeah, her birth name. He calls her up and he says, "Hey, Emily, I'm gonna make you kill the baby." And it's so funny because, like, I mean, first of all, it's very well done and creepy to only hear the one side of it.
100%, yeah.
But there's also the great juxtaposition of her being like on a toy phone with like flashing lights and like big googly eyes.
Yeah, like, how was that? Is that a landline? What's going on there? I was like,
"You want me to kill the baby?" The cow says, "Moo."
The Gabriel says, "Kill the baby." It was very creepy. Just in the use of, sometimes I feel like in horror movies, they use like children being like creepy, like, you know, or ghostly, you know, and it sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like it really worked here with her just like talking about not wanting to kill the baby and everything. Super, super terrifying on Christmas of all days.
Yeah. The creepy little fucker quotient was high.
Definitely. 100%.
Mom says that she created Gabriel to deal with whatever hurt her in the past, and they thought if they loved her enough, she could stop needing him. And I hope we weren't wrong.
That's such a terrible like way to go about it too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, maybe we like consult a professional. Like, no, we just thought we'd love you more. Yeah, that'll do it, idiot.
And consider what he said about how they told her that he wasn't real.
Right.
So you're like, well, here they are again saying that he wasn't real. I don't know.
Yeah.
At the police station, Detective Kakoa Shaw discovers a bunch of USB drives in the files of Dr. Weaver with her little vlogs about the patient Emily May, which is the name that Gabriel has been calling Maddie.
Yes.
It also has a photo of the people that she worked with, including another doctor who lives in Seattle. The same doctor Maddie is now seeing in a murder vision. I love Gabriel stepping out from behind her. Ooh. That was
chills.
Good shit.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, very cool. Detective K rushes to the apartment. He finds the grisly remains, but twist! Gabriel's still there, motherfucker.
What a twist. Oh no. Get out of there, Kakoa.
Get out of there, Kakoa. He attacks, but he's fended off by Kay, and he runs out the fire escape, leaping down in superhuman fashion. Kay pursues. There's a fun chase scene into the rubble of the Seattle Underground, where Gabe ambushes him on a carriage and escapes through the roof. Fun fight scene.
Great fight. I mean, Krakoa is a Hawaiian name and it means warrior. And I think that he displayed that in this scene, really going after, not only going after this creepy monster, which who knows what the fuck's going on with him. Like, he seems a little deranged, just on first viewing of this guy, this Gabriel.
Sure.
So going after him first, and then like also through the creepy underground, what is it? The tunnels under Seattle?
Seattle Underground. Yeah.
Yeah. That was yeah. So that's not easy to do. Like, breaking through brick and crawling through tunnels and everything like that to chase this guy. Not an easy chase. So hats off, Krakoa.
We salute you, Krakoa.
We salute you. True warrior.
Kay tells Maddie about her connections to the doctors and asks her to see a hypnotherapist. She regresses to the hospital and remembers Gabriel following her to the new home, where he causes trouble for her since nobody could see him. You get another creepy phone call, which, again, very funny, juxtaposed with the lights and goofy eyes. Mm-hmm. But it becomes very real when she grabs a knife and thinking she's cutting a slice of cake for Mom, but Gabriel has glamored her into almost cutting the baby out of her.
Jesus, yeah. The parent or the mom wakes up to see her standing over her with a knife. Wild.
Very, very Halloween as well there.
Very Halloween. Yeah, with the butcher knife.
Yeah. And she freaks out both in the memory and in present day, getting brought back by the therapist with a full memory of Gabriel, trying to get rid of Sydney thanks to a little boop on the head.
Little boop.
The reason that Gabriel was trying to get rid of Sydney is because she would be a support system for Maddie. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
He wanted to be needed.
Yep. Exactly. And the killer is my Gabriel. Snap zoom.
Oh, shit. What a reveal.
Great stuff. The tied up woman at Gabe's base is now untied, having freed herself, and she takes a step, then plummets through the floor. Very funny. Turns out to be the attic of Maddie's house. Yes. Big LOL.
Big. Yeah, that's terrible.
Where is my mind comes in. Yes.
Needle drop. Do you imagine being
needle drop and person drop?
Needle and person drop. Yeah, that's a good tie-in. But just like being tied up like that, and for who knows how long, finally freeing yourself and then dropping through like 2 stories onto a fucking coffee table.
Humiliating.
Terrible. Yeah, in front of a bunch of people too. Like you're like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. And like 10 years later, she's gonna be like, they probably don't even think about that anymore. And like once a week, they're like, do you remember when my fucking birth mother fell through my roof?
Oh my God. That was so
crazy.
Crazy. Embarrassing. Still picking up pieces of that coffee table.
Over the where is my mind drop, they arrest Maddie's ass.
Yes.
In the attic, the police find the outfit and weapons, which of course are pretty implicating. She's interrogated by the police, and in her rage, the lights explode.
Yes. Oh no.
I
don't know what I was thinking earlier, questioning his electrical power. I wasn't really questioning it. But I do think it's really cool. It adds to a lot of the overall creepy vibe, like stuff like this, and then the flickering of the street lights when you see him coming into the house. It adds to that vibe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the phone rings, and she just says, he wants to talk to you.
Oh, no.
And Gabriel taunts the police. Ask her what she used to call me. Say it, Reese.
The devil.
Whoa. They track her adoption to the Simian Research Facility. Funny that it's not spelled like monkey, like Simian, but like they say it. And it's Simian Adoption Agency, which is, I don't know, that's funny. Or Simian Research Facility.
They say it a few times where you think it would be that. You know what I mean? Where we're supposed to make that leap.
Yeah, she's a little monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, all right, well, we'll make the leap into parasitic twins. Giant-ass looming building on the cliffs. Very imposing. It's a fun little set there.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney breaks in while Maddie is remanded to the holding cells. She finds a file describing how Maddie absorbed her twin in utero, And one of the videos is a vlog where Serena May, age 15, gives up her baby. And thanks to the power of the Kuleshov effect, we realize that the woman from the attic is, in fact, Serena May, Madison's birth mother.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
What a reveal. Yet another reveal.
That's right. Communicated filmically even before Detective Kakoa says it.
Wow.
How about that?
Very cool.
James Wan, you did it, you son of a bitch.
The sister, Sydney, great sister, too. Breaking into this creepy hospital.
Sure.
To go into the basement level of it to get all these
That's too much for me.
Yeah, no.
I'll go break into the hospital. But once you're like, you have to also go into the basement.
Check, please.
Check,
that's
please.
Me.
I'll have what he's having, which is a speedy exit.
We're saying this to no one there.
Scooby-Doo is there, too.
Scooby-Doo, of course, is there.
The next tape is of Emily confessing that Gabriel makes her strong when she attacks for him. She has the strength of two people. I interpreted that two people bit my own.
Yeah.
That's my own little sauce on it, but
put a little English on it.
Yeah, exactly. But she gets made strong, and the doctor wakes Gabriel up, and we see him attached to her dang back, writhing in fury. It's a great image. I love it. I love it dearly.
The reveal, I've said it before, and I'll say it right now again.
Please say it again.
It's so fucking good. It was. I remember, like I said, this is the one thing I did remember about this movie. One of the very few things a year removed before I rewatched it, and it worked so well again for me. Like just seeing it's disgusting. Yeah. It's unsettling. My brain doesn't want to accept it.
Yeah.
And I also forgot because I remembered it just being a head poking out of the back of her head.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's a whole fucking body with the limbs and everything. It's God,
a whole dang Gabriel.
Imagine what kind of clothes are you buying? You know what I mean?
Not good looking ones.
No, none.
The Dr. Weaver says that he's an extreme version of a teratoma, which is a tumor consisting of tissues, hair, teeth, muscles, and bone, and more specifically in this case, a parasitic twin, not technically conjoined, but he feeds off her. And it's pretty scary as he freaks out in the video.
Yeah. It's just like he seems like he's out of control.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're conjoined by the brain, too, so he can't ever, fully go, there's nothing they can do. They can do. It's just terrible.
Yeah, the male doctor there says because they share the same brain, he can trick her and basically hijack the body. So it has been her all along, or at least her body. And they've concluded that the best course of action is to cut him out. But since they're connected at the brain, they're just going to push what they can't cut out into her skull.
Disgusting.
Felt like a real Homer Simpson approach to it. All right, just push it in.
Yeah, just cover it with newspaper and then it goes away. That was an unsettling image too. Just them pushing that into her skull and then closing. Yeah. There's a lot of really surgery imagery throughout that can be, I'm sure, gross to a lot of people.
Yeah, my hot take is that the insides of the human body pretty gross.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Yeah,
got a lot of stuff going on there.
Gross stuff, even
blood.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
There's a moment in Synecdoche, New York.
Is this Syndoche?
Yeah, exactly. Syndoche, New York. Philip Seymour Hoffman is trying to explain to his daughter about plumbing. And he's like, it's like your veins, how they carry blood around in your body. And the little daughter freaks out. And she's like, I don't want to have blood. I was like, I feel you. I feel you, little girl. I don't want to have blood either. That shit's nasty.
It's nasty. Just think it's all up in there.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
I won't have what she's having.
No, thank you. Check, please.
No Bloody Mary for George.
Yes, only mimosas.
But also because I don't like tomato juice.
No.
It has nothing to do with the blood stuff. I understand that it's just a name.
Well, Bloody Mary, the urban legends, saying that 3 times in the mirror.
Wow. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary.
Don't do it. Don't.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, shit. That's probably fine.
That's what we call a classic comedy subversion, folks.
People are laughing their dang butts off.
I know it. They're saying, George, don't get back to the movie. We want to hear more of this bullshit.
You have any prepared material?
It feels that way. I know it feels like this is not off the cuff, but I promise you it is. In the holding cell, the other people have finished sizing up Maddie, and they find her lacking. So they start to harass and beat her up, which is their mistake because she goes Gabe on their ass.
Oh, my God.
So funny. The one lady screaming, "What the fuck?"
That made me laugh so hard. When she starts transforming into Gabriel.
Yeah.
That's how I would react too.
Yeah. It's very honest.
Is this?
Gabe tears through him. He shoves an arm through torso. He stomps faces. He's spinning heads. The whole 9 yards.
Just super gory. And then all the people, I get killing those the people that were harassing you. Sure, fine.
Everybody, they all gotta
everybody, go. They all gotta go. It's nuts. And then the guard too.
The guard, that's right.
A lot of gore in this.
She needs those keys, bro.
Needs the keys. She's got to get out of there.
That's right. And they're off.
Yep.
Sydney warns Kay that Gabe was freed by the head smashing on the wall, which just one more reason not to be an abusive prick, fellas. You might release a Gabriel.
Yeah, you might release a Gabriel. If you... I don't got anything.
Jeff, I see you hanging out in the back there.
I'll work around to it.
All right. He has to go, though, because they hear gunshots and Gabriel is rampaging, but not before grabbing his gear from an evidence locker. I love the one cop was like, "We need backup. Send the National fucking Guard."
Yeah, that's good.
This scene is great, and Kay almost gets through to Maddie, but Gabriel is kicking everyone's damn ass, dancing around and snarling in kind of a fun, cute way before making a break for the mother at the hospital. Gabriel kills the guards by fucking with the pacemaker, which explodes in his chest. That's wild. I love that.
Yeah, that was, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I felt it. Now, I don't have a pacemaker, but it just, God, yeah.
Yeah. What if
heart exploding?
Gabriel should have talked through it first.
Man.
Come out of his chest and be like, "It's me, your heart. I'm going to explode.
In 3, 2.
Your heart explode." So he attacks Sydney afterward, and Gabriel says he was saving her for last. And she chose you over me. I should have killed you before you were born. Except in the Gabriel voice. So it was more like, "She chose you over me. I should have killed you before you were born."
There it is. Yeah, this is an very intense scene with Sydney. Again, Sydney being a badass. Trying to go toe to toe with Gabriel to know.
Sure. Cool. Look, you get cool ladies with that name. You got, in this movie, Sidney Prescott from Scream.
Yes.
What do you need?
That's right. So that's it.
That's right. Mom pulls off her face mask. She asks for Gabe's forgiveness. Yeah, that feels, it was coming off the tongue weird.
She asked for Gabe's forgiveness.
She asks for Gabe's forgiveness.
It's a vocal warm up.
Yeah. "I never should have gave you away."
It's like, yeah, you absolutely should have. He's some sort of monster. It had to be dealt with. And
she was 15.
Right.
It was not a forced birth, we'll say. Her mom was not helping.
Yeah, she had no support system. Yeah. So
look,
raising a non-monster would be tough enough, but a baby and some monster-like creature, I don't know. There's no handbook for that.
There's no handbook for when your baby drinks electricity.
What are you supposed to do?
Were you going to breastfeed electricity?
Find the fucking YouTube video for that, guy.
Yeah. Come on. Kay gets a few shots off. Blat, blat, blat. Shoots at Gabriel. But Sydney gets in the way to stop him from killing Maddie in the process, which results in him getting stabbed big time. Sydney continues calling Maddie her sister, infuriating Gabe. But she gets through to Maddie, not only with that, but also with the reveal that he was eating her babies to rebuild himself.
Unbelievable.
Stem cells, man. What can't they do? They'll build a Gabriel right out from under your ass.
Build a Gabriel. Keep a Gabriel strong. That's fucked up, though. That's yet another fucked up reveal, medical reveal. They were really, you mentioned the creator or writer with a fascination with medical anomalies, and it really, really rings through.
He kills Sydney and the mom, but then it's revealed that it was a vision that she caused him to see. Now I can do all the mind tricks you can. She locks him up in her brain. You don't get to control me ever again. It's over, Gabriel. I'm taking it all back. My mind, my body. James said, here is this woman who comes from a domestic abuse home. She is married to a horrible husband, and throughout her whole life, she's been oppressed by this thing, this guy that's inside of her head. And here is this woman that's trying to claim back what is hers. We're a bit on the nose there to have her say, it's my body, I want to take it back. But that was something that was very important for all of us behind the scenes. So that was another thing that was very important for us to pull off. And I think they got it. You know, it's not really that on the nose until that moment. It's the dismount. It works for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's not too on the nose for me in terms of that, but I like it. You're rooting for her the whole time. Like, you want her to win. Like, she's had such a terrible life up until this point. Everything has gone wrong and badly for her. That you want something to go well, and you want her to win against Gabriel, of course. What are you, some sort of monster?
No, I'm not. I wanted her to win, Reeks. Yeah. Don't you levy that accusation at me.
It was the royal you, but yes, I was thinking that. So thank you.
Well, I don't recognize the monarchy.
Well, that's right. Yes, you're anti-royals famously. But no, this I liked it. It was a little. This was like the weakest part of the movie to me. I really like this movie a lot, but just the fact it kind of boiled down to like, hey, just concentrate really hard, and he'll go away. Like, that's kind of what it read to me as, and I'm like, that's a little. It wasn't as great to me as the red. And I feel like I'm nitpicking here, but because it still worked overall. But
yeah. Well, it does also kind of become the most like directly transferable onto a theme when he's like, you can't lock me in here forever, I'll get out. And she says, I know, but next time I'll be ready for you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, if it's grief, like so many of these movies are, or if it's trauma or whatever bubbling to the surface, like it is a little like direct there. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's like 2 lines at the very, very end.
Right. That's why it didn't really matter, because I forgot about that. Like when on the first watch, like I didn't even remember that happened. So I just paid closer attention to it, I guess, this time. But again, that's not worth really anything in the scope of the movie. Yeah. So it's really the Hulk. You can draw a parallel to that. Like,
so true. She is a bit of a Hulk, isn't she?
Bit of a Hulk, getting the Hulk under control, putting the Hulk in a cage.
Wow.
So she could be a scientist or whatever.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nobody puts Hulky in a corner.
That's right. They say that too at the end, which is like,
it was strange.
That line was out of place as well to me. Like, those two things
that stood out as well, for sure. You get this great surreal jail cell zoom out, and he retreats into her skull in real life, and she tosses away his coat. She's back and learned the lesson that she'll always be her sister, blood or not. Which it was like kind of funny and fucked up that this whole movie, she's like, you're not good enough. I need a biological connection with somebody. And Sydney's like, okay, I'll help you.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I'll risk my life several times to help. Our blood's not the same.
They hug in the wreckage. It is also funny to me that the bio mom is like lying there watching awkwardly at the end. She's just there.
Yeah, she doesn't know these people too. Like, this is,
they don't talk to her at all. I don't think that they exchange any words.
That's true. She almost didn't need to be in the movie too, but like that's
no. Don't go down that road.
I think it's I do think it's it is funny that it all happens in her hospital room.
Yeah, exactly. And you get the electrical noise of Gabriel right before the credits, but I was wondering, like, what do you think the legal ramifications of this are for her? Like, are the cops going to accept the demon who retreated into my head killed all those cops?
There's no proof of. I mean, I guess there is proof of, like, with those videos showing the old.
But does that stand up in court? And then who? Like, they just say, I guess nobody pays the price for this. Like,
right? All these gruesome murders. Like, that's a great question. I'd like to see a sequel.
Yes, a legal thriller one. It's entirely in the court system.
That'd be great.
She-Hulk is in play.
It's just like Law and Order, where like the first half is like the crime.
And
the second half, exactly, these are their stories. And the second half is all in the courtroom. Like hammering all of it out. I'd love to see that. That'd be cool as hell. But maybe
Malignant Part 2.
Malignant podcast. Didn't we talk about that earlier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hosted by Gabriel.
Gabriel could talk about that. He has to know. He had to be there.
It all works together very well. It's a fun little ending, great little dismount, tight movie. It's under 2 hours.
Yep.
Gotta love that. And now, Reegs, we have reached the part of the episode where we sum up why it's not just a good horror movie, but is in fact the best horror movie ever made. And I'm going to let you start.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're welcome to do it.
No, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. The reason this is the best horror movie ever made. Look, I came on last year and I just got, what did I discuss? Ernest Scared Stupid.
Doesn't even remember it. Come on.
You know, like that was a funny, great movie. Don't get me wrong, but this is an actual horror movie. Let's not get it.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted here. But no, there's so much going on in this movie. There's so many different, like the family angle, her being adopted, and looking for that blood bond, and the emotional angle there, and then but just also so many different horror elements work here. The gore, just like I said, I know I'm struggling for other words to describe it, but like the overall just creepy vibe and the spookiness, and all of it really worked throughout the movie, and it never felt overdone or dull throughout. I don't think there was a dull moment in the entire movie. I just kept watching and waiting to see what happens next. Even on second watch, I'm like, oh, this shit's cool. Oh, this scene is great. Oh, Koa's running through the tunnels to chase Gabriel. This is amazing. Oh my God, there's Gabriel. I'm freaking out. This is the grossest shit I've ever seen again. So I had all those reactions again. I mean, it's fantastic. It's refreshing to see original IP in the horrorverse. That's always great. And it's such an original idea like this. Like I said, I've never seen anything, a parasitic twin represented in film or TV before. So seeing something like this executed so well really was overall home run for me, which makes it the best horror movie ever made.
Wow. I totally agree. To me, this is the best horror movie ever made because it is, first of all, just very interesting as like a meta leveraging of James Wan's filmography to like make you think you know what the movie's gonna be and then completely turning it on its head. So even from a 3,000 foot like view, this movie is fascinating to start with. But then the actual movie itself is just so great. Like I love having this like Gabriel ego representative that just bursts out of the back of her skull and takes revenge on these doctors. It's paying homage to so many great movies that I love and putting them all into that genre blender that he was talking about. And what comes out is a beautiful, delicious slurry.
The dang hoot.
It's a dang hoot. It's the color of blood. So I understand if this slurry doesn't look appealing to you, but you got to drink it down, baby, because it's delicious. And I shouldn't even say that because the movie itself does look good. So I don't want to get my metaphor mixed up here. And it just looks good. It's written well. It's fun. It's funny. Gabriel is an icon. He's a new horror icon. Instant
classic horror villain.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him.
That's why I've been growing out my hair, is so I can look like Gabriel.
That's right. Yes.
I've also been wearing it in front of my face, like
you're
Gabriel.
Doing a lot of like the bone surgery that you're participating into is it's
you noticed?
Yeah, I mean your arms are real short, man. Like
well, I wasn't fishing, but I like what I caught.
It's frightening. I mean, you're going for the Gabriel look, which is it's on point. So yeah,
that was the electric noise happening.
It's kind of flailing there.
Yeah. It's great. It's just really great. A lot of great central performances, but it doesn't feel overwrought at any point either. I also think that it doesn't feel like the scope of the movie gets out of hand either. It's a very tight story, very focused.
It's contained. Yeah, for sure. You don't really go to too many different places, and there's a pretty clear through line once you watch it all.
Folks, it's just a very fun way to spend less than 2 hours. So it's the best horror movie ever made.
Wow.
What more could you possibly ask for than Gabriel?
Fucking Gabriel.
Fucking Gabriel. Upcoming podcast.
He's great. Yeah.
He's great, real.
Gabriel. Performances were really good. So the last thing I want to say on it is
Nope, sorry, too late. You're not allowed to say it.
Oops, damn it, fuck! I wish I could get in there. What was her name? That's the lead actress in Annabelle.
Something. Annabelle the doll.
Annabelle,
played by Annabelle the doll.
It was Annabelle the doll. Yeah, I'm glad she's getting some work still. That's great.
Annabelle Wallace.
Yes, she was great.
She was great. Yep, I agree. Best horror movie ever made. Reegs, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend. It is always a pleasure to chop it up with you.
Great time, as always.
Absolutely. Please tell the folks where they can find you, any projects you want to plug, all that jazz.
Oh, yes. George, thank you for having me again. It's great to be back in the little whorehouse in Philly. Had a great time. And yes, anybody could find me on Twitter, Twitch at Reegs815. And then also listen to, this is PLUTEMBER. So you have to listen to, we're celebrating PLUTEMBER all month long, both on this show, on the best little whorehouse in Philly, and then on We Heard About Pluto, the show I host with George about Psych Rewatch podcast. So
that's right. Host Prime
on We Heard About Pluto with George and our pal JP. So that comes out bi-weekly. And we just do it's an episode rewatch podcast that we do on Psych. So
absolutely check that out.
A lot of fun to do.
You also do some streaming on Twitch. That's also a lot of fun. People can check that out.
Yes, I do. I do another podcast with one of my buddies that's kind of on a hiatus right now. It's called Jargon Boys. You can listen to that. I do some streaming on Twitch where I'll play some old N64 games and do some drinking. So always follow me there. But yeah, that's about it.
Hell yeah. It's also mentioning that We Heard About Pluto is bi-weekly is a great segue into a reminder. If you didn't hear the announcement on, I don't even remember which episode it was. Probably the Matt Apodaca episode, I think, about Barbarian.
Great up.
Thank you. I think that's the episode that it's on. But the Best Little Horror House in Philly is going bi-weekly as well, starting in the new year. I think it will be beneficial to the show and to my own sanity.
Yeah, so it'll give you a little bit of a break,
So I'm looking forward to that, and you should look forward to that as well. And of course, that will mean all of my extra time gets to go into stuff that I'll do for the Patreon.
Right.
And so if you want to see all of the great bonus content that's getting put out over there, it's just a couple bucks a month. And you get great episodes like we just did Basket Case 3 with Taylor Moore came back after talking about Kill List. Look, we talked about Basket Case a ton on this ep. And of course, there is a great Basket Case episode on the main feed. Check that out. And then when you're done, pay $5 measly, and you get to listen to me and Taylor Moore talk about some of Basket Case 2 and then all of Basket Case 3.
Damn.
What a bargain.
All I have to pay is $5 measly for that?
That's right. That's right, Reeks. You heard correctly.
Wow. I'm looking at a $5 bill right now, and it is so measly. I just want to get rid of it.
For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you could have a whole month of my beautiful voice, my beautiful Gabriel voice in your ears.
The Gabriel voice. You're going to subscribe to Gabriel's fucking podcast, but you're not going to jump on the Patreon?
That's fucked up, dude.
Fucked up. Get your priorities straight.
Get your priorities straight. And if you don't want to pay any money because, look, it's the holidays, money is tight. I get that. If you want to do something nice for me that doesn't involve spending any money, you could rate and review the show, help fight that dreaded algorithm. Now that Twitter is exploding and it's very hard to promote the show on there, we need all the help we can get. Give us those ratings and reviews and do all that stuff for We Heard About Pluto as well.
That's right. 5 stars.
If you do it for We Heard About Pluto, you'll even get your review read. I don't do that shit. So.
Right. I'll read the review and then we'll talk about it.
That's right. That's where the real money's at.
That's right.
All right. That's it. Very long, fumbling outro here.
Hit a lot of points. I hit a lot of points.
Thanks again, Reegs.
Thanks, George.
Bye, everyone.